know that I just put on the screen for our viewers just to see that that is the actual store on your gate that you made mention of a moment ago, so that people become familiar with that and comfortable with coming to you if they uncover that somewhere in their home. That's actually the actual picture of Rabbi's Gate as it appears on her website.
It's amazing. We do so many things to jog people's memories, and you know, Carl, you mentioned earlier about the connection in Spain, about Portugal in one of our earlier episodes. So many people come to me saying that their traditions come from Spain or come from Portugal, and that could very well be true. I just had a man who wrote me an email a couple of days ago who said he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, your surname, Mercurio, is a Spanish Jewish surname. And based on that, he wrote me an email. And so this connection back to Spain is stronger than one might think.
And Rabbi, I know you have some other stories and little artifacts to share with people that have showed up at your door.
I do. I have this little menorah. And it is the 7th branch, not the 9-branch Hanukkah, but it's the 7th branch. And this was brought to me by a lovely lady who said this has been in our home. I remembered it when I was a little girl, and I remember my mother talking about it. She remembers it when she was a little girl, and this is something Jewish. And she felt that this belonged in the synagogue. I tried to talk her out of it. I tried to tell her that she needed to keep this in her home, but she said no, this belongs in the synagogue, and so it's on a little shelf in our sanctuary in a place of honor. But she said, we know that this candelabra is Jewish, and then she also talked about how the 3-branch candelabra is used on Friday nights, and that is another little piece of detective work that we've got. I have, as we unearth these traditions, that I've had to remember, because lighting 2 candles on Shabbat, with lighting 2 candles and not using a third as a shamas or a helping candle, just the 2 candles themselves is much more of an Ashkenazic or Eastern European tradition. The 3-branch candelabra, where you use the middle candle to light the other 2, is part of the Italkit, or the Italian, or we are also merged within the Sephardic tradition. So there are many times when I see these 3-branch candelabras, and when I first got here 12 years ago, I really paid them no mind. I thought they were decorative items only, and then I started to see that there were Stars of David on them. There were little drawings of the Kiddush cup with the vine and the grapes, and the pomegranates, which the drawings of decorative pomegranates, that the melagrano, that are very much part of the Jewish tradition. And I started looking at these 3-branch candelabras, and now people bring them to me too. But I make them take them back home, and I say, light them on a Friday night, and we sometimes teach people the blessings and go to their homes as well.
So this would be a replica of the candelabra that was in the temple?
This one that we're looking at, yes. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like from the Titus Arch. It is supposedly come from Rome, so said this family, and was presented to the family back several generations. But how and why, nobody seems to know. But yes, indeed, this is very much a Roman replica. Mm-hmm.
So anybody who has been to Rome and has gone to ancient Rome and to the Arch of Titus would see this candelabra and other scenes of the exile of the Jews after the great Roman armies defeated the revolt in Judea. So we're now going back to, let's say, 70 CE. 70 years CE. And
that's right.
I want to tie into that because we're always getting as far back, more or less, as the 1400s and the 1500s, the time of the Inquisition. But we should really remember from that indeed, with the destruction of the Second Temple by the Romans and with the collapse of the, let's call it the Jewish polity in Palestine, Palestina at the time, Jews not only were exiled, but simply began to move and travel around the entire Roman Empire, meaning basically the entire basin of the Mediterranean. So
That's
by
right.
that time, meaning 100 CE, and after, probably even before, but certainly after, wherever you go in the Mediterranean basin, particularly, you're going to find Jewish communities who trace their roots back to Jerusalem or back to Palestina.